Ladies and gentlemen, it's cowboy time.
Well, Alex, what'll it be?
I think you and I know how this is gonna end. Only one of us is leaving here.
If you move this along, I got an appointment with my orthodontist at 2:30.
Me too. I just came to get what's mine. That's all.
Now, I got nothing personal against you. I just like to keep order is all. And the way I hear it, you've been stirring up a fair bit of trouble in this little town of ours here.
Now listen here, you gosh darn man.
Now, I would warn you against any foul language, mister. There are ladies present.
Tarnation.
Now, I don't want no trouble.
This ain't your fight, boy. This is between me and that no-good banker.
Where is Shane?
Must be late.
I'm coming!
Now I ain't gonna tell you again.
You can save your breath, Alex. I ain't leaving till the matter's settled.
Well then, I see only one way to settle this. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Maybe. I'm mainly thinking I suddenly realized how close we gotten to each other. It's like I could stick my tongue out and lick your nose.
Don't.
Okay.
10 paces on my call, we draw.
That sounds just fine to me.
Draw!
One last olive.
How about best 2 out of 3?
Hey, it's Roland again, and I'm in a bit of a pickle. I was incredibly unequipped for this shootout, but in my defense, I did not think Garfield would let me down like that. Well, I guess since my first tactic didn't work out, the next logical step would be to double down and do it again. Let's be smart about this, though. I don't care much for dying. It doesn't do much for my complexion. So let's do some research into what went wrong by watching some old Garfield ads, shall we? Would you knock it off?
You got till the count of 10 before I walk closer.
Could you do it really slowly?
Okay. 1.
All right, let's get started. Garfield. You know him, I know him. We both kind of wonder what it would be like if we didn't. He's become a fixture of our culture at this point. He's baked into the very infrastructure of society as we know it, but it wasn't always this way. There was once a time where you could say I hate Mondays without getting a cease and desist. Garfield hit the paper in the late 70s. After a somewhat rocky start with some earlier projects, Jim Davis struck gold with a simple comic strip about a fat orange cat who, as the years progressed, slowly stopped resembling a cat. It wasn't until the mid-80s that Garfield was thrust into the international superstardom that he enjoys today. We're talking TV specials, a TV show, so many comic strips, too many comic strips. This was the decade that Garfield covered the most ground, and honestly, the character has primarily been writing the success of it ever since. He's certainly not seen the same level of buzz surrounding him ever since then, but he does remain a permanent presence and phases in and out of the spotlight from time to time. More recently, you see him get a lot of attention from people my age who seem to love him both ironically and unironically at the same time. You'll see loads of people collecting Garfield toys from the 80s while watching bizarre videos that completely dismantle the character. I think it's just because Garfield, despite being completely cemented in the mainstream, is still kind of a bizarre entity. There is no reason that this fat orange cat should have such an influence over the world as we know it, but he does. The market of merchandise as we know it could potentially buckle if he just evaporated one day. It really makes you think about your place in the world.
We ain't here to challenge society, we're here to brainstorm. So let's watch some old Garfield ads and see what we can learn from the titan of the funny papers. Let's start with a different one.
The most wanted mug in America.
Who could resist a mug like this?
Nobody.
2.
Oh my god, these things. I thought they just materialized in flea markets. I didn't think someone actually made them. What Midwest grandparent's home is complete without one of these little centerpieces? They actually did this a lot in the past, selling mugs at McDonald's. I know my family always had a set of Flintstones mugs from the live-action movie. It's just bizarre to think about McDonald's doing something like that today. I like how they don't even hide the fact that the mugs aren't that great. They don't even touch them up to at least make the muzzle the right color. They're just like, there you are. What, you expect f***ing Picasso? You know you're gonna buy him anyway, you little sh**.
I assume that's how McDonald's talks.
Here's a Christmas one from McDonald's. What? Oh, he better not be playing with Garfield.
This year, nobody can resist Garfield plush toys at McDonald's.
Wait, I don't get it. Is she mad at him for having Garfield? Why does she just smile when she gets up there? I don't really want to unpack an old man playing with Garfield toys in bed, nor do I really want to think about this old couple's relationship. This is one I can see a lot of people at the time feeling some nostalgia for. I just think it's weird, though. Don't kiss him. Let's focus on something a bit more Garfield-centric, like this one for Talking Garfield toys.
Watch out, here's Talking Garfield.
Run.
Face it, you're a wimp.
Yeah? Well, at least my mascara looks better than yours. I appreciate these things. I'm sure they sold well, but the only thing you could think of to move on him was the eyes. It's creepy. Let me buy one. I want it to stare at me. This, I think, is a good example of the way that Garfield can be so painfully a sellout while still somehow being strange and endearing. It's the beginning of his image being bastardized by the oversaturation of meaningless merchandise, yet somehow its meaningless gives it meaning, you know? And maybe I'm just a sucker for shit that I would find in an antique store, I don't know. Now these ain't got nothing on what many consider the holy grail of Garfield merch. It's probably what immediately comes to mind. These old Garfield plushies by Dakin. I don't know what, but there's something so endearing about them. Like, I know that's the goal and all, but if I'm honest, I don't have enough of an attachment to Garfield to start collecting them or anything, but I can see why people do. I think that's what these Talking Garfield toys are trying to go for, and while I'm sure a true-blooded Garfield fan wouldn't be caught dead without one, they just don't hold a candle to the simpler pieces of Garfield memorabilia. What's this kid up to?
Garfield.
No, you're not.
I play football. I play hockey. I play tricks.
He literally does none of that because the point of his character is to be lazy. Also, I play football, I play hockey, I play tricks. You couldn't think of a third sport, kid? You went with tricks?
But mostly, I play a lazy cat who lays around all day doing nothing. I'm sorry.
You should be.
While each Garfield commercial tends to have its own brand of stank to it, there are a few that seem to fall into a similar category. The category of Garfield talking to random human about product. Hotels, supermarkets, cat food. That last one actually makes sense. The idea is just to take the basic formula of the comic strips, replace John with someone random, and spin the end into Garfield endorsing a product. It's intuitive and it's lackluster. Whoopee! I tend to shy away from calling Garfield a sellout, but the evidence is incriminating. They barely try with these. The animation and staging are usually fine, and they have fun with having Garfield interact with real-life objects. Neat. Want a fucking cookie? These are the commercials you kind of have to sift through to find the good stuff, but it does the body well to stop and appreciate them for what they are. The beginning of the end? Maybe. A malicious time waster? Sure. I'm sure the Honey Nut Cheerios commercial will knock it out of the park, though.
Morning, Garfield.
I don't do mornings.
Good. Then that's my box of Honey Nut Cheerios.
Breakfast?
I was kidding! This one's just a really good one. Again, not sure why Garfield's here, but they don't just lean the entire commercial on his presence as if that's going to make it a good commercial like a lot of the other ones do, you know? They just make a really well-animated, unnecessarily catchy commercial that Garfield just so happens to be in. Like, if you wanted to show this to someone who had no idea who Garfield is, first of all, good luck, and second, they probably would just think it's a standard mascot duo for Honey Nut Cheerios. Buzz and Garfield work surprisingly well together. This whole commercial is just really good. You get a pass from me, Honey Nut Cheerios. Now let's watch Cornflakes f it up.
Rosie, you're not speaking to me today? No. Oh, you're still mad at me because I wouldn't let you have Mommy's Kellogg's cornflakes?
I know you gotta sell your cereal somehow, but you're not fooling anyone by saying a kid would throw a fit over not getting to eat cornflakes. They were designed to be so boring you stop masturbating, for God's sakes.
This homework's a drag.
Not with wonderful me to help.
Not with wonderful me to help. Garfield pencil toppers, one free in cornflakes. Together we'll ace everything.
Chia.
Oh no! You know, it keeps me up at night knowing that there will always be a chunk of my brain dedicated to remembering that damn Chia Pets jingle. I don't even need to ask you if you remember Chia Pets. Everybody remembers Chia Pets, the only pet where you get to see the product of your negligence in real time. I'm just kidding, that's all pets. They were wicked popular, at least enough to get their hands on some tired properties at the time. Like?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo. He's a Chia Pet too. Raggy? Yes, even Shaggy.
Why does he sound bummed that Shaggy was included? And yes, they had to go out and make a Chia Garfield. Where would we be without it? I appreciate the idea of Chia Pets. They're pretty neat. I just don't know why they ever got so damn popular. No one ever used them properly. No one should have bought them, least of all a Garfield one. They were just purchased by poor saps who were swindled by the allure of a catchy infomercial jingle.
Don't look at me.
Well, I guess this is an excellent opportunity to finally see if I can get one of these to grow properly. I put a hot dog in it. Let's give up and watch a commercial for the 1996 Plymouth Voyager. This one's kind of clever. It uses one of those Garfield toys you stick to your window. The shtick is that Garfield sees the Voyager and decides he wants to go hang out in that window. Too bad he gets run over.
It was morbid, but it got the point across.
The Plymouth Voyager is pretty attractive.
Hey you, I think you're
pretty attractive.
Slow down!
All right, Garfield, please teach me how to trick-or-treat safely.
Halloween will soon be here. That's when we can all go trick-or-treating. Go trick-or-treating while it's still light. Take a flashlight and wear reflective strips on your costume just in case you get back home a little late.
This is all fine and dandy and probably great advice for trick-or-treating. No one's following it, Garfield. Garfield seems like a weird choice for the spokesperson for Halloween safety. I don't think he'd care, but the National Safety Council thought it'd get kids energized for safe candy collection. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
A Halloween safety message from the National Safety Council.
Of all the ones we've seen so far, that was probably the most unnecessary. Want to see them do it again?
7.
Yep, you can't keep a good dog down. Garfield is just too perfect of a spokesperson for spooky safety. I am actually curious as to why they thought he was such a good fit for this that they had him do it twice. It's probably just as simple as the fact that he was a popular character of the time with the kids, so he would probably be more likely to get their attention, but I don't know. I would think there would be better fits than Garfield.
I'm wearing this orange cat costume.
I didn't need to know that.
These ones are super short and not that interesting, but I actually really like them. They feel like the perfect windows into a moment in the past. These ads probably defined Halloween for their respective years depending on how often they were shown. I almost feel some sort of secondhand nostalgia. It feels gross. Now here's a good one, advertising sleep? Like the act of sleeping?
This cat can outdo the mailman.
Serves him right.
And even his best friend. How does he do it? Is it lasagna? A strenuous fitness program? No! The secret to this cat's amazing brain power is sleep. Garfield knows that to do your best, you need to get a good night's sleep.
Huh. I guess there was a time when sleep deprivation was an issue only Garfield could address. I mean, to be fair, it is probably the most in-character ad we've seen him in, but it just baffles me that someone issued Garfield ads telling people to get better sleep. Did this help? Ah, when I think Garfield, I think the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute.
Let's get weirder. I want to see what newer Garfield ads we have to work with.
Here's one that makes me uncomfortable.
Find the perfect cat litter. Initiate smell test. Nasty, initiate clump test.
Oh, this one is bad. This couldn't be further removed from Garfield. We're in a lab, this robot voice is doing all the talking and is devoid of humor? Who signed off on this? The animation is kinda lackluster. The premise is so basic. This litter is bad. This litter is good. Buy this litter. Garfield is also here. And something about this whole thing just makes me feel uneasy. Like I'm watching the reanimated corpse of Garfield do a little dance for me. It's wrong, but I can't look away.
Garfield cat litter. Your cat will thank you.
And have really long arms.
Y'all remember Garfield Pet Force?
Nah.
Would you shut up?
It was this alternate universe Garfield thing where all the characters were superheroes. All it served was a reminder that Jim Davis really didn't know what was best for his intellectual properties. That aside, I found a grainy old commercial trailer thing for when it first started. This also made me feel uncomfortable. They spent a little too much time focused on Odie's feet and Arlene's breasts, so I won't even grace it with a clip. Alright, I figure I only got time for one left. I better make it count. How about one in Spanish? Yeah!
Garfield, ¿dónde están los muebles? Garfield, ¿dónde está la comida? Garfield, ¿dónde está Odie? Garfield?
I don't know what's happening, but I don't like Garfield anymore.
10. That's it. I'm coming over there.
Oh, I learned nothing from these commercials. I was honestly just killing time. What do I do? What could I possibly pull from these advertisements that would help me?
It's simple, John.
Huh?
You spent all your time trying to find the Garfield that would help you. But don't you see, John? The real Garfield was the Garfield inside of you.
I don't understand.
It's not about toys or McDonald's or rooms at embassy hotels that come with a wet bar and refrigerator and free breakfast and access to their state-of-the-art pools. It's about what Garfield means to you. It doesn't matter what all these ads made you feel, so long as you're true to yourself and what Garfield means to you.
What?
Work on your aim, John.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I hope this works.
Yeah! Yeah! Tarnation!
Ooh. You alright, buddy? Ah, good. Up we go.
You're just gonna help me? After all that?
Yeah, why not? I don't hold grudges. Well, looks like my work here is done.
There goes a true blue American hero. I think he just died of heat stroke.